There's an importance in the concept of me, in that if I have such, then I consider earnestly what's best for the future. And part of that is to choose to do goodness, as I see it, of course, compared to harm. In other words, the reform of self depends on the concept of self. If I truly adhere to the fact that there is no me, that it's just a transitory form of causes and conditions, and there's no inherent me as such, we're all part of the one and so on, then there is no opportunity to attach purpose and progress, because me doesn't exist. The notion of I has no validity. I think you'll agree this presents as an absurdity then. For how can we encourage and press reform if at the same time we're suggesting the individual does not exist, only in some misunderstood way? Then there's nothing firm to build on. You see, we can only build on our understanding of God and goodness, external to ourselves, whilst we are convinced that we ourselves are in chaos. In other words, trust in some external benevolence is crucial, which is personified God. And it may be that personified is the best way to see and to visualize God from the point of view of progress. And we do value progress. In other words, more loving, more kind, more considerate, more forward-thinking, more seeking out and understanding that which is good, and in what context. Good for what? Persons, as we see them around us, as we understand their existence, rather similar to our own. And if we don't see them as rather similar to our own, then we don't have sympathy and we don't progress. So it's not the me and the I and the ego that is at fault as regards its existence, but as regards its state. And we can improve the state by spreading its estate to include others, of course. One's partner, one's children, one's parents, good friends, those that have rescued us. Thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. And valuing God, of course, whom we may understand to love all and care for all. And to value such view, to value his values, especially as you understand God to be the personification of your own good values. How could you understand him to be a personification of your bad values? The ones you don't truly hold, don't value. That would be crazy. You can only love the God who embodies all that you understand at heart to be good. Thank you, Dad. If I have no conception of self, I certainly cannot love you as myself, though you do rescue me. It is the fact that you rescue me from dire straits that I'm filled with gratitude, and this fires me to love you as myself. What it mustn't do is cause me to worship you, for you are no more perfect than I am. It's just that you are willing to give relatively little of yourself
some risk, some money, to minister to my enormous need. And thank God you did. And it is thanking God, and you, of course, as his right-hand person in that regard. And so I love you as myself, but I don't love myself anything like what I love God. For I have found that to put him first, to love him with all my heart, soul, mind and strength, is my great reward. And therefore to treat you as myself, I would that you knew this also. But of course you may not have ears to hear. But if you have, oh, well, that's lovely. I want to make sure you have, or to give you, that which I have, just like myself. Do you see the importance of self? When it realizes how blessed it is. And who is this one blessing? I so want to thank them. I value them as myself. God rescues us in dire straits. We love him as ourselves. Now I'm in confusion. Am I loving God with all my heart, soul, mind and strength? Or as myself? Well, I see God as having the same values as me until he changes my values, and then I see him as that. But I see you, if you're the Samaritan, the one rescuing me, as someone I want to love and care for as much as myself. In other words, I want you to have this great blessing too, of course. But that's what matters to me. I can only give you what I have in my purse. And you did that. You rescued me. Lovely chap. May I rescue you too. Thank you, Dad. So, and you might be astonished by this, I am the same towards God, for he rescues me into life eternal. I want to bless him with all my heart. I almost hope that he has a need that I can bless him with. And if he hasn't, I'm going to bless him anyway. And I find he does have a need. He's chosen to have a need for our love, our devotion to him, our appreciation of him, as part of a lovely family that he's chosen to value. A lovely person to create us and to value us. What a fantastic, astonishing blessing. That we can meet his need by his grace. And that is our joy. Do you see, we utterly love being part of his family, his reason for living. Thank you, Dad.